Welcome to the bush. It's that time of year where these great big wild rhubarb leaves grow and come in full. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking shingles. You may recognize this shelter behind me from my Mardi Gras shrimp boil in the woods. Happened almost a year and a half ago now. And I left my debris shelter there from that camp out. My plan is to remove the cedar from the top of this, use it in my fire tonight, and we're going to re-shingle this shelter with some of that wild rhubarb. It's good to be back in the bush. It's been a while. As many of you know, I went through quite a health ordeal. You can check that video out, 44 days in the hospital. Ended up being 54, ended up spending another 10 days after I made that video. Getting back at it, and excited to be out here. It is June now, and I'm hoping that I don't end up full of ticks. The reason why I chose this spot in the cedars is bugs are more resistant of cedar. Cedar is kind of a natural bug repellent. That's why people build chests and stuff out of cedar. So what we did today was we took some wild rhubarb leaves and we layered them and made like shingles. And this shelter is not rainproof. You would have to put a ton more of them on there because they have holes in them and they're not perfectly overlapped and everything. I'm just kind of giving you an idea, something you could do if you were in a survival situation. Those leaves are pretty big and broad, and if you just piled and piled and piled, the trick with a debris shelter is to just pile it on. Make it where there's more channels that the water has to run down through before it can get onto you. So that is the trick with a debris shelter. But if you just wanted some shade from the sun, a single layer of these would do really well. And you know, a nice wind break, sun break, something like that. But for tonight, just kind of showing you how you could, you just have to be creative with it. But I think it's time for a step 2. Now, because of my recent health issues, we're going to be drinking a Heineken 0.0. Oh man, that tasted good. Here we are. I've got my sleeping pad all laid out, and I am hopefully going to not wake up with a bunch of ticks. I did bring the thermocell for mosquitoes, and as you noticed earlier, I piled on the leaves to make it extra smoky in the campsite here. Today is really, really nice. Highs in the mid 70s, a low of 60 tonight, and it is like 50-degree dew points. So we're talking like a fall-like day. It feels really, really nice. And it's supposed to get hot after this, so I thought I'd take advantage of it and get out here and do a good old-fashioned bushcraft style camp out. And Hopefully the bugs leave me alone. Wheat thins and garlic hummus. Having myself a little snack. This stuff is delicious, this garlic hummus. Oh man. Anyway, so one of the challenges after the health issues that I've been through is I have to eat a low-fat diet now, at least for right now. Could be for a long time, could be for the rest of my life. That I have to watch the fat content of my meals. So, but I've learned some little tricks and some things to do. And like tonight, we're going to have like basically a shrimp scampi. But I've figured out how to substitute things like butter and heavy oils for MCT oil, like coconut oil. Gonna snack on some cottage cheese. Don't even think about it. Oh man! Well, I'm gonna settle in and do a little bit of reading, and then later we'll fix a little bit of grub. Loving these 9 p.m. sunsets. My buddy gave me a good book. Thought I'd give it a try. An environmentally sound approach to a lost art. Big shout out to my buddy Big Don. Don't sleep on the ground in June if you can avoid it. So last night I fell asleep after I read that book. I never did even cook my supper. The cottage cheese and hummus was enough to satisfy me, I guess. I never did cook my supper. I just fell asleep. So sorry about that. No cooking in this episode, but we'll have some breakfast tea. It is a beautiful morning here in the woods, in the bush, and still working on perfecting my sleep when I'm out and about camping. But this is the first time I've been out in a while due to my health issues, but it really felt good to get back in nature. Really simple camp out. All I did was slap those leaves on an existing structure. I don't recommend camping on the ground in June. And another thing to keep in mind when you do a debris shelter, especially if you use a lot of leaves and dead twigs and stuff, you're going to get a lot of stuff falling down from the top onto your bedding and onto your blankets. It just comes with the deal. When you're underneath a tarp, your blankets don't get nearly as dirty because you don't have all this crap falling on you. But there's a lot of dust and dirt and particles of leaves and stuff that get onto your bedding when you're sleeping underneath of a debris type shelter. So it's just something to keep in mind. And right now it's especially dry too, so it's every little piece of leaf or dirt or dust you pick up and it gets strewn into your blankets. And then in the night as you're rolling around, you've got an itchy spot because you've got a stick poking you or something. It's just those little things that subtract from the overall comfort. But it's just something to keep in mind. I did get a mosquito bite on my leg. I've been scratching my leg. Somehow a mosquito bit me through my jeans last night. So the lesson I learned there is even if you don't notice the bugs or the mosquitoes, you should still have a preventative measure on board. I brought the thermocell with me. I never fired it up. I should have fired it up. That's all I noticed, and believe it or not, I have not pulled any ticks off of me. The old rhubarb leaf shelter worked pretty good. If you were in a certain survival situation and you really needed to pile on a lot of protection from the rain, I think those leaves could be of some service for you, because they do cover a lot of surface area. The cool thing about this camp out is I don't have to tear my shelter down, because this is private property. This shelter can stay here and it'll become the fire for next camp out. Such a nice day, I decided I'd do some trailblazing. I've been getting interested in hiking, so I put a series of simple hiking trails connecting my campsites on the property. What I've found works the best is, this is called a grass whip. And we had one of these when I was a kid, so I looked online and I found one. And you can get them online for 30 bucks or so. I think this one came from Walmart.com or something. But anyway, you just take it and cut the grass as you go, and it'll cut, you know, small up to pencil-sized sticks and brush. And it blazes a trail in no time. I mean, you're just walking along doing it, and when you look behind you, you have a trail. And I also carry, of course, a saw on my side, the Sugawaza, and it's got a nice sheath that I can put around my belt. It's handy for anything bigger than that this won't handle. So it works really, really good for blazing a trail. And what's neat about here in the Midwest is once you've blazed a trail, the deer will actually keep it. They will keep the stuff down for you. The deer will use your trail. Just like humans, deer like the path of least resistance. So if you create a trail, the deer will definitely use it. It's kind of cool. So then you also have a place to strategically place your deer stands during bow season if you're interested in that. So anyway, I just wanted to share this little tidbit for you. One of the things I'm going to do is try, I'm getting into all natural stuff, so I don't want to use chemicals, but like I don't want to use like Roundup, but I'm going to try like an all natural Roundup. It's got some different things in it, salt and some different things, and just kind of spray it lightly along the trail to keep the weeds and brush down. My goal is to only have to maintain the trails maybe twice a year, so that way the rest of the time I can enjoy myself hiking. Anyway, happy trails.